For the second year in a row, the New York Knicks have moved on to the quarterfinals of the NBA Cup, and this time around, we go up against the Atlanta Hawks. And I'm here to break down what we need to do in order to get past the quarterfinals and into the semifinals and into Las Vegas, baby. All that and much more on the Knicks Digest. What's up, guys? So listen, I'm one of the avid believers that if you make it past the group stage of the NBA Cup tournament, and you make it into the quarterfinals, and if you make it to semifinals and you're able to get to Vegas, I think you should really try and go for it. There are a number of positives that I can take away from that, especially with the New York Knicks. You might have heard me talk about this with Chris or with Matt on Digest Happy Hour. If you guys tune in, thank you very much. But what have we had of any significance? The last time we were able to hoist up the Larry O'Brien Trophy was the 72-73 season. And ever since then, it's been playoffs. It's been Eastern Conference Finals appearance. It's been 2 finals appearances in 94 where we lost to the Houston Rockets and Hakeem the Dream. And then the 99-2000 season where we lost to the San Antonio Spurs. Of course, Tim Duncan, David Robinson. But that was a lockout year, so I don't know if you technically count that. And then ever since our last finals appearance, it was a decade of just absolute misery. We got Melo. We made some playoff appearances, but we only had one good playoff appearance with Melo, and we lost in the second round to the Indiana Pacers. And then Jalen Brunson got here, his first 2 years. We make it to the playoffs, salute, and we get eliminated in the second round both years. We just haven't had a lot of good history, man. We haven't had anything to celebrate in a while. So now that we've been able to make it to the quarterfinals for the second year in a row, we need to go for it, man. This time around, we're going up against the Atlanta Hawks. Last year, we lost to the Milwaukee Bucks. Giannis. But this time around, going up against the Atlanta Hawks, and I just wanted to talk about what it's going to look like, what we need to do in order for us to get past the quarterfinals and actually go to Vegas in the semifinals. So the only game that the Knicks and Atlanta Hawks actually played this season was back in November, the 6th of November to be exact. We lost 121-116. KAT had 34 points, 11 of 23 from the floor, 5 of 9 from three-point line, converting all 7 of his free throws, finishing with 16 rebounds and 1 assist. So he had a strong double-double. He played 38 minutes that game. Brunson had 21, 8 of 18 from the field, 4 of 11 from three-point line, which is not good. He only had 2 free throws, and he only converted 1 of those, finishing with 3 rebounds and 4 assists. He played 37 minutes. Josh Hart, 14 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 2 of 4 from three-point line, no free throws, 8 rebounds, 8 assists, 38 minutes. OG Anunoby, 15 points, 5 of 13 from the field, 3 of 8 from three-point line, converting both of his free throws, 6 rebounds, 3 assists. He played 41 minutes. Mikal Bridges, man, Mikal Bridges, this is dating all the way back to the beginning of November. The narrative around Mikal Bridges right now is he forgot how to play basketball, he doesn't know how to shoot, he's in a funk, and this stat line for Mikal Bridges all the way back to the beginning of November is not going to help out that case. 10 points, 4 of 10 from the field, 2 of 7 from three-point line, no free throws, 2 rebounds, 5 assists, and 39 minutes. Giving you all of those numbers, the one thing that pops out to me is what I've been saying on my solo videos, what Matt, Chris, and I have been saying in the happy hour videos, the minutes. We got 39 for Mikal. We got 41 for OG. We got 38 for KAT, 37 for Brunson. We got 38 for Josh Hart. And the bench players, the only 3 players that played in that game, we got Deuce with 28 minutes, Jericho Sims with 10 minutes, and Tyler Kolek with 9 minutes. Jericho Sims, you guys probably have seen that video that I put out. It was the Detroit Pistons postgame, and I talked about how Jericho Sims, it might be time to have the conversation of him being out of the rotation now that Precious Achiuwa is back. But Jericho Sims, in the 10 minutes that he played in this game, 0 points, no field goal attempts, 2 free throw attempts. He missed both of them, 2 rebounds, no assists. Do I need to say more? Deuce McBride is the one player out of Kolek, Jericho Sims, and Deuce. He played 28 minutes, 16 points, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 6, three-point line, converting both of his free throws, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Deuce, it looks like he definitely had a really stellar game, but hopefully we get KAT back because the game this past Saturday against the Detroit Pistons, he missed that game. I want to say it's tendonitis maybe, or maybe it was knee inflammation, his right knee. So I want to say we're going to have him back for this cup game because we absolutely need him in order to move forward. And I think we should really try and give it our all to move forward. But what I kind of want to talk about, the Atlanta Hawks. At the time of this game, the Atlanta Hawks, after getting the W against the Knicks in this game, they go to 4-5. They have a record of 3-3 at home. The Knicks, after this loss, they were 3-4 at the time. They were 2-3 for an away record. But the Atlanta Hawks, it seems like they found something. And from what I've seen, from the highlights, from the numbers and the stats breaking down of Trae Young and the rest of the players, what I think the Atlanta Hawks have found is an epiphany that Trae Young has had. And it seems like Trae Young is trusting his teammates a lot more than in past seasons. And the last few games, Trae Young has been just diming the ball. I'm seeing him have 17 assists box scores, 20 assists box scores. The most recent game I think he had against the Lakers, I think he had a 17 assist game. So Trae Young, he might have turned the corner, which is something that the Atlanta Hawks fans I think have been waiting for forever. Of course, it doesn't help to have talent around him. Jalen Johnson looks like he's been making a leap this year. They traded DeJounte Murray this past offseason, and one of the pieces that they got back, which I think was essential, was Dyson Daniels. Dyson Daniels, I believe last season he was averaging around 5 points for the Pelicans, I believe he was on. And then this year, I think he's averaging close to like 14 points. Sometimes his box score isn't going to look all glamorous, but if you watch Dyson Daniels and the impact that he has these non-box score stats that really make a difference in the game. The hustle plays, just being in the right spot, making the right play, and these are things that you can't tally on a box score. You just got to be able to be there, watch the game, or watch it on TV to feel his impact. And I think Dyson Daniels, he's going to have a really, really big impact on Atlanta Hawks moving forward in their season. But going back to this game specifically, the November 6th loss against the Atlanta Hawks, Trae Young had 23 points. He was 7 of 21 from the field. He was 3 of 9 from three-point line. He had 8 free throws, and he converted 6 of those. He had 10 assists and 2 steals. So, again, this is super early on in the season. So it looks like at this point of the season, Trae Young was still doing Trae Young things, getting his shots, trying to get his numbers, really not incorporating his teammates around him. But since then, it's looked like a different Trae Young. Jalen Johnson, in this game, 23 points, 10 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from three-point line, no free throws, 15 rebounds, 7 assists. He played 39 minutes, Trae Young played 35 minutes. The number one pick, I believe, this draft class was pretty bad. I'm pretty sure he was the number one pick, but Zachary Richacher, the Frenchman, he had a big game. Now that I'm looking at the box score, things are coming back to me, and I do remember him having a big game. And the box score is telling it all. 33 points, 11 of 18 from the field, 6 of 10 from three-point line, 60%. That's crazy. 5 of 9 from free throws, 7 rebounds, 3 assists. He played 37 minutes. Quinn Snyder, previous to this, had a gig with the Utah Jazz for a while. He came to Atlanta. I think this is maybe his third year with Atlanta. Last season was a bit of a hiccup with the whole DeJounte Murray and Trae Young experiment. They shipped him out, and up until recently, the Atlanta Hawks were struggling, but you got to give a little bit of credit to Quinn Snyder. Maybe he was able to finally get through to Trae Young's head, really basically laying it all out. Like, we're not going to go anywhere until you really trust your teammates, until you really start to develop a skill where you're showing your playmaking abilities. So salute to Quinn Snyder. But I don't know, this game's going to be interesting. We also got to talk about the whole Trae Young effect. We got to talk about just how the fans absolutely hate him. And I do believe that this game's going to be in the Garden. So we got to go back to that 2021 playoff series where the best player on our team was Julius Randle. We had Derrick Rose. I believe Courtney Lee was on that team. I believe Alec Burks was on that team. And the Hawks came into MSG, and they got 1 out of the 2 home games, and they ended up winning in 5 games. That was a bit of an embarrassment. They were the 5th seed. We were the 4th seed. So it's time for payback, bro. It's time for payback. And Trae Young for the season is averaging 21 points, 12 assists, and 4 rebounds. And I'm looking at his box score for these past games. Earlier, I said that I've seen a couple of games where he had 17 assists. The more recent game against the Lakers, he had 20 assists. He had 31 points and 20 assists. Now, he was 9 of 25 from the field. That field goal attempts is crazy. And he was 5 of 13 from three-point attempts. That's crazy. But 38.5% for that game, not bad. Another game where his assists were high were against the New Orleans Pelicans. He ended up having 15 assists. Prior to that, against Cleveland, 22 assists. And I feel like I should bring this up. Atlanta, they were the only team that the Cleveland Cavaliers actually lost to before they actually broke this crazy winning spell, if you want to call it. I don't know what the Cleveland Cavaliers have had an amazing start to the season, but they were on a 15-game winning streak to start the season, and then they ended up losing 2 games, and those 2 games, the team that they lost to was to the Atlanta Hawks. So maybe the Atlanta Hawks have their number, or maybe Trae Young, maybe that was around the time where he had that epiphany. But Trae Young is just different this year, man. Trae Young is different this year, and I'm going to be very interested to see if he reverts back to his old ways in the Garden, because, of course, when you come into the Garden, you know, the lights, the spotlight, Trae Young might want to have it all to himself, or if he's really gonna bear down and he's really gonna trust his teammates like he's been doing. And someone else for the Atlanta Hawks that I didn't mention earlier is DeAndre Hunter. DeAndre Hunter for the season, averaging 19 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. The tandem of Jalen Johnson and DeAndre Hunter, like Mikal Bridges and OG Anunoby, they're going to have their hands full because they've been playing very well. And like I keep saying, Trae Young, it looks like he might have turned the corner, trusting his teammates. And also, this just popped into my head, like the Atlanta Hawks, they actually went into Boston without Trae Young. Trae Young did not play that game. They went into Boston and they caught a W. And I believe it was an actual NBA Cup game, which then led to the Atlanta Hawks being able to be one of the teams to advance to the quarterfinals. But like the Atlanta Hawks, man, they got pieces. They have players. Now, what I don't want to happen, what happened to the Lakers last year. They won the NBA Cup championship, and then they completely fell off a cliff, which led to Darvin Ham being fired. They were firing on all cylinders, and then they won the NBA Cup, and I don't know what the hell happened. They just completely fell apart. Something else that is a positive that could happen if the Knicks get to the NBA Cup Finals or even win it is just like the narrative around Jalen Brunson and KAT's name. Jalen Brunson, time and time again, in all these NBA talking head shows, like whenever the topic of best player, best point guard comes up, I feel like Jalen Brunson's name is always brought up, but he's always brought up because someone just like throws his name in the conversation. He's never the name that leads off the conversation. But with the NBA Cup, maybe getting the NBA Cup Finals MVP, maybe that could start changing. And KAT, you guys know how I feel about KAT. Like KAT, all the numbers that he's putting up in the regular season right now is great. But me personally, I'm not going to trust KAT until I see it in the playoffs. And his track history with the Minnesota Timberwolves, him being the best player, is not great. So if KAT continues playing the way he's playing offensively and being our defensive anchor right now, the narrative around his name can change. Maybe people are going to start changing the way they think about his basketball IQ, about his boneheaded fouls, about his boneheaded offensive plays. Like, a lot of things can change with this win of the NBA Cup championship. So that's why I think we should put our energy towards it. We're here, so we might as well go for it. But guys, that's it for today's video. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Are you in agreement with me? Since we're here, since we're in the quarterfinals already, we might as well just go for it and actually try to get to the finals, NBA Cup Finals, and also actually win it. Or are you in the camp of like, it's okay. If we lose, we lose. It's fine. We're looking towards the main trophy, the Larry O'Brien trophy. Leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Also, leave it in the comments. Let me know what you guys think about the Atlanta Hawks. How they're going to be against us on Wednesday, I believe, when the game is. Or do you think we'll be able to get past them? Or do you think the Atlanta Hawks are going to be sneaky and sneaking up the Eastern Conference little by little? But until next time, you guys know the drill. You know the vibes. Jalen Brunson for all the MVPs. The deuce is deuce. Deuce for co-MVP. OG Anunoby for Defensive Player of the Year. And Taj Gibson, we miss you, my guy. Taj Gibson for President. I'll check you out in the next video.